You are watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your daily dose of business and technology to educate, empower, and inspire small business owners. Be sure to subscribe to the show today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Good Morning. I was about to say the Talk Business with Audrey Show, the Good Morning Gwinnett Show. I got too many podcasts, y'all. I got too many podcasts. Listen, I don't know what's going on this morning, but I woke up and my phone does not work. It does not work. I'm supposed to be interviewing the district attorney, Patsy, Austin-Gatson. Hopefully she'll be able to jump on. All kinds of craziness is going on. So you know me, right? I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. So when I woke up, and my phone is not working, I can't text anybody, I can't call anybody. I'm like, okay, so what's going on? So my first thought was, while we're over here so busy worried about certain people and what they're doing and not doing, those other folks over there trying to take us down. I know I'm being a conspiracy theorist right now, but it's got to make you wonder. It's not just AT&T that's down. You got Verizon and T-Mobile. What is that about? I know TikTok is blowing up right now with all the conspiracy theories going on. And you got to think about that, because it's weird, because I read somewhere where they said when they want to take us down, the first thing they were going to do is knock out our phones and computers. Well, my phone does not work right now. I can't even send a text message out, which is nuts. My husband goes, well, I can send out a text message. I'm like, how are you doing that? So what happened was his phone went out one day. And when his phone went out, he turned on the Wi-Fi. But at that time, nothing was happening with AT&T. So I don't know what's happening right now, but hopefully District Attorney Patsy Austin-Gatson can come on and share with us, what's going on at the DA's office. I know there's some burning questions that people want answers to, and I want to be able to ask those questions. So hopefully I'll get a chance to do that. I know that T-Mobile is having a problem, Verizon is having a problem, and also AT&T. I have AT&T, so it was so funny because I called a person that sold me AT&T. I was like, this bootleg AT&T. That's because I didn't know it was everybody, but I was kind of playing. Okay, AT&T, don't get me for that. That was me playing around. I was just joking because you'll get like these you'll get these warnings and things like that. But anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Today is Thursday, February the 20th. What's the day? 22nd? 22nd, February the 22nd. And I want to get to the show. It's so crazy because one of my questions once the DA gets on is, why are you running for re-election? And I ask this question to all political candidates because for me, I look at them do such hard work. Granted, not everybody does hard work. Some people shouldn't be in this share. But I look at most of the ones that I know personally, and they do a lot of hard work. And when I tell you there is no love for real, like the amount of kickback and kick in their backs they get, it's like, man, why do you want to do that work? And so that's one of my questions for her. There are a lot of burning questions that people want me to ask, and I'm going to ask them because that's what I do. You have to ask the hard questions so you can get the answers that you want. So hopefully she'll be able to get on and I'll ask some questions, because right now we're going to be in a heated political season. Like, this is going to be one of probably the most heated political seasons ever. When we had our last election, it was pretty heated, and I'm expecting this political season to be just as heated. We have a lot of candidates in Gwinnett County, a lot of good people, a lot of people, who are already in seats that are, that are doing jobs that I think are good, but I'm not in the office with them. I can only see what I see. I can only hear what I hear. But there are other people who feel like some of these candidates shouldn't be there, and so I want to give all of the candidates the opportunity to come on, give them a platform to share what, why they feel the way they feel and what can they do differently. Now, I can tell you this, I have a problem with this. I'm going to say this, and I've told a couple of candidates this. I have a problem with this. I have a problem when I don't see you until election time. I got a problem with that. So there are some candidates I have seen all for the last 4 years. I've seen them. They pop up at everything. So it's not like they're not out there in the community doing things. So I'm looking at those people and saying, okay, I like that they're out there even when it's not an election season. So I think that's really important. I have some candidates I've never seen a day in my life, but then some of them are very new, so they wouldn't be out there campaigning. But the ones who have been campaigning just now, and they only come back when it's campaign season, I got a problem with that. So you're not out there fighting for our communities, and yeah, it's hard to get my vote. I'm just gonna say that. There are some who are diehard for this county, and they probably get my vote, but there are others probably not. And then there's some I just don't know. So anyway, I see the district attorney is in the green room, so we'll be bringing her up pretty shortly. She and I, what's crazy is she was on my show. She was on it. So Good Morning Gwinnett is almost 6 years old, and I remember it was so funny because her husband reached out to me when I think I had just, it was like a year old. Her husband reached out and it's like, look, my wife is running for district attorney, you should have her on your show. And I said, absolutely, bring her on. She was running at that time. So I'm going to bring up, without further ado, I'm going to bring the DA right on up here. Good
Good
morning.
morning. How are
Listen,
you?
I'm good. I thought you were part of this whole this outage right now. I didn't put my conspiracy theory out there about Russia and China taking us down. So, but listen, that's a
Yes.
real thing. I'm not,
Yes.
I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that. I just said it out loud right now here live. So good
Yes.
morning, dear. How are you? I call her
Good
Madam Dear. Good
morning.
morning, Madam Dear. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? I'm just come up from the grand jury assemble and apologize for being running a little bit behind, but I think I have forewarned you a little bit that I was going to be rushing from that.
That's all right. Listen, I talk for a living, so I can find something to talk about till you get here.
That's
So
all good.
it's been 4 years, ma'am. You were here 4 years ago, running for district attorney. Now you're back for reelection. And my first
Yes.
question, I was just talking about this, is why? Because I look at you guys. I look at all of the people that are sitting right now. I see the work that they put in, but I see, like, sometimes I feel like the community is so ungrateful. And my
Mhm.
question is, why do you want to do this again?
Well, I look at it a little bit differently because the need is so great in Gwinnett County. And I think I always try to remind people of the great things that are happening here. Sure, my office has to see a lot of issues and things that nobody really wants to have to look at. And I remind my staff even have a work-life balance
Mm,
because that's what's important. And we have made so many strides since I've taken office in January of 2021. It's just amazing. And I just thank God for it because, we have work to do. And I have four grandbabies being raised in this county. I'm fighting for this county. I'm fighting for the best situation for this county, that we as a community will collaborate together, like in shows like yours, and situations like folks that are trying to stop the drugs from coming in, folks that are working to give our young people hope in the future. That's what it's all about. I almost feel like it's my pulpit.
yeah,
Almost,
yeah.
I mean, the fight and the passion that I have for this work, I want to continue doing it. We have more to do.
We have such a huge county. When I first moved to Gwinnett, I was downtown Lawrenceville on Wednesday, no, Tuesday, my birthday. And
Happy birthday. Happy
thank you,
belated.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And my husband and I was just looking around when we moved here. There was nothing downtown. Peachtree Cafe was sitting right next to the building right there, the town hall, and it was like this little country little cafe thing. Now it's like these sprawling buildings. Almost make me feel like I'm in New Jersey again because there's so many buildings popping up everywhere. Like, I wasn't used to all the high
Yes.
rises when I first moved here. But with all of the development that's going on, there's a huge risk and a lot more crime. And I know that there are some people who are just, they think that you're a little soft on crime. What do you say to that?
That's interesting. I don't think it's being soft on crime when you're trying to pull people back out of the system.
Mhm.
We have a program here that was initiated during my watch, and it's called the Red Program. Rehabilitation Enables Dreams for 17 to 28-year-olds who are in a situation, a nonviolent felony situation. This is their first brush with the
Mhm.
law. And what we're trying to do is pull them back out of that trajectory. That's not soft on crime. That's being preventative and doing things that will help people not go into the mass incarceration system. Because we do know that a high percentage of folks of color are trapped in that system. And yes, things were done as far as what they did to get themselves there. But what I'm trying to do on the front end is to tell young people you don't need to go down that path because that only leads to you being locked down in situations that you could have avoided. So I'm really big on that is doing things that will keep people out of the mass incarceration system. And if someone commits a crime, we will hold them accountable. We have held people accountable because that's our job. But I do want to make a difference with our young people so that they know that they have hope in the future and they don't have to take that road.
What do you think I said? Because I've been on doing my research and following other candidates because at the heart of who I am, I like politics. So politics, business, and tech, that's my thing.
Yes.
Um, there are some people who are concerned that our citizens don't feel like they're safe. They said that they've had conversations with some of the citizens, and the citizens don't feel safe in Gwinnett County. I know you're out there, so what do you think the citizens are feeling? What's your thoughts on that?
I think a lot of citizens that folks that come in and really find out what a DA does know that the job and work is being done. I've been to many um, events where I've asked people, do you know what a district attorney does? And people just gloss over, they don't know. So we had our inaugural class of Citizens Academy, and it was so successful. People learned so much. And they're looking at the things that my office does, and they're like, yes, we're behind you. And I think that's where we have to go. Folks have got to understand what the process is.
Yeah.
And I do get calls a lot about everything. I'm not a dog catcher, but I'll direct you to the right place. All right. So certain things I don't handle because we handle serious felonies in this office. But whenever anyone reaches out to me, I think the whole county's got my email. And what we'll do, if there's an issue or a problem, we will direct people to where they need to go. On February 28th, we are introducing our resource guide for Gwinnett County. And I think that's going to be very helpful for folks. If you need help and there's something you have to get done, you don't know where to go, we have provided a resource guide. And if the answer's not there, call us and we will direct you to the right place. I think our community is more safe at this point. We have a great policing agencies throughout this county who are working really hard to let people know that there's help if you call. And I'm thankful in Gwinnett County that we have so many great chiefs of police here in this county for our various cities, and they're working together collaboratively so that we do have a safe community. Of course, things are going to happen when you have practically over 1 million people.
Yeah.
And you will see things on the news that disturb you. But what we can do, what I've said many times in our Korean community, Asian communities, if you see something, say something. Because we all have a responsibility in keeping our community safe and working toward that goal. So all of us have a stake in it. It's not just the DA, it's all of us. We all have to have a stake in maintaining a safe community.
There has been some chatter about your hiring process and that the district attorney office is understaffed. And so I want you to talk about that. Like, is that the case? Is
Yeah.
that not the case?
I think when I first came into office, when you unseat practically a 30-year incumbent, a lot of folks are not going to be happy about that. And we dealt with that early on in my administration. Every Friday would be a not so good Friday because people would decide to send emails throughout the entire office to say, I'm leaving, I hate you, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm like, okay, but you don't even know me.
Right.
So at this juncture in my office, I am completing my 4th year in 2024. We have hired over 70% of the folks that work in this office, and we are full. We are full with very talented, diverse groups of people who reflect this community. And that's the beauty of it. My office reflects this community. We work hard in this community. We go out to the schools, we go out to events with all of the different parts of this community. And it is my pleasure and my honor to serve this community. We are moving forward. We're rolling along so good, and it's going to get even better. But we're in a good spot right now. I'm really thankful for my talented staff and what they are doing for this community. And anybody that has a question about my office, please reach out. And don't listen to the chatter that's out there. Just get it from, they say, the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
So please reach out if you have any questions and speak with me about it. Because one thing I've done in my office, I've been very transparent. I have been willing to speak with folks. And even when it's sometimes things that they don't want to hear, we bring them in the office, we make a decision, bring them in the office and show them what steps we went through to come to a certain decision. So I think that anyone can respect that, even if it's not sometimes what a particular family may want, but we will pull them in, show them the steps we went through and why we reached the decision. We don't ever jam anything down anybody's throat and say, this is just how it's going to be. We take the time, we have victim advocates that walk victims through the system, and we explain to them. That's our responsibility, to let them know why a particular action was taken. And that's what we do, and we do it well.
I've spent some times over at the Victims Advocate Center inside the DA's office, and it's ran by Uzma
Yes.
Khan, who's just a sweetheart of a person. And I just feel like when I've been there and I've seen people who were there, the compassion that they were shown, and just the attention they were shown. But there are some people who say, you know what, the victims are not happy. The DA is failing them. And I've been there. I've seen it. I've seen people there.
Yeah.
So what do you say to those people? Because the chatter's out there, DA. It's out there all over the place. It's out there, and everybody has their opinions. And when it's election season, the dirt slinging get the slinging. But I've actually been in there with Uzma, and I've seen how they run that office. I've seen how she and her team is just rallying around people and trying to make sure
Yeah.
that the families are okay. So what do you say to the people who saying, you know what, the victims' families are not happy the way things are being handled?
Well, I'll say to that, each year since I've been in this office, every December, we have a victim homicide vigil. And that has grown, quadrupled. And basically, what we do is put our arms around people that are victims. And we tell them, even though your case is done, even though there may be somebody sitting in prison for the remainder of their lives, we have not forgotten about our victims. And we put our arms around them. We let them know that you are part of this community and we are here to still walk with you hand in hand. And if anyone would like to get additional information, you can go on our uh, DA website. You can go on so many areas. You will see that this office takes that seriously. We take care of our victims. We make sure that they have what they need. Even before there's a trial, they are getting services in this office. When something happens in our community, we are reaching out to people to tell them this is what you can do, this is what you can have. And we even had a situation where one of the members of our community, whose daughter was murdered in a different county, we reached out to that member of our community because we want folks to know that Gwinnett County is a caring community. From this office, this district attorney's office, since I've run it, has made sure we've reached out to the public. And we want folks to understand, again, if you have a question or concern, bring it to us and we will deal with it. It may not always be what you want to hear, but you will hear what our rationale is about things that we have to do in this office. And we are bound by law. Now, if there's a problem with how something transpires, then you need to call your legislators. There are certain things, we have to follow the book, we have to follow the law. And that's not always a pleasing situation for folks because sometimes the law is not comprehensible to the average person. and we try to break it down, make sure they understand it, and we even push forward certain legislation that we would love the legislators to put in place. So if anyone has a concern, if there's chatter, don't listen to chatter. Okay, come and find out the real facts.
I want to switch gears a little bit. Since 2022, there has been a statistic out that says that the conviction rate has fallen to 57%. So that's a little bit disturbing to some people. And I know that you're saying that's not true. So let's talk about that for a second. Is that not true? Is that
Well,
stat not?
let's talk about that. Thank
Yeah.
you for giving me the opportunity to address that. Because when I took office, everybody knows it was during COVID. When I came in this office, I was shocked to see the number of cases, murder cases, very serious cases that existed in this office that was even pre-COVID. So I didn't have the luxury of riding up in here and just handling the cases that come in when I come in. I am dealing with a substantial backlog, not just COVID, but pre-COVID. And what we've done, we've been able to hammer that down. The majority of our cases now, we are dealing with 2021 and forward. But I had to come in here my first year and resolve a triple homicide that had taken place in 2014. Mind you, I took office in 2021. So why am I having to resolve a clear case of a triple homicide? Now we're talking about 3 different families that had to put their lives on hold because that case was not resolved in a timely fashion. And when I ran, I told people justice delayed can be justice denied. It is heartbreaking. There was also a situation where a young lady who had been raped in an Uber case. It was an old case. And before that case could come up to trial, that young lady had passed away because she could not get over that scenario. That broke my heart. That literally broke my heart, that she could not find resolution and justice for what had happened to her. So we do have there's a litany of cases. I could go on and on about the cases that we had to deal with in this office that transpired years and years and years before I was elected. So when you're beating that down, a case does not, as a case gets older, it does not get better, because we have had to go out to Argonne and different places and look for witnesses. We've had to send teams out to go and get people back here in the jurisdiction so that we could prosecute cases. So when you have an old case, doesn't get better, victims even die, witnesses die, or they move on, and then we got to search for them. So no, it's not a quick and easy thing when I'm having to deal with that type of situation. So anyone that says I haven't done my job, guess what? We are doing the job, and it's happening. And as I indicated earlier, most of our cases now are looking at 21 and forward. So we're dealing with what we should have been dealing with in the first place.
So you were busy doing somebody else's job in the first year and a half. Now you got it. Now you're almost up to your job. So that being said, I know right now, you are very strict on fentanyl. Like you are strict. If we catch you, if you are involved in it, somebody dies, you're going to jail. What made you decide to be one of the first counties in the state, probably in the United States, to say, you know what, we're going to convict? What made you decide to do that?
Because folks have got to be held accountable. Yes, we understand that the person that is receiving the drug is taking it somewhat voluntarily, but when they don't know that a Percocet pill or Xanax pill is laced with fentanyl and can kill them, they don't know that. And they take the pill and die. These families that are left to have to bury young people, they need justice too. So we started charging folks, drug dealers, with murder when they have done that. They have done that. So we have gotten several convictions behind that, and we're still pursuing these cases where folks are taking fentanyl and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. So yes, we're going to pursue those cases because we don't want to see this continue. We're doing as much as we can, but as you can see, that's on the tail end. If we can get folks to understand that you don't need to do these drugs, and we have situations now with kids vaping, THC, the deltas that are out there, and they get addicted to that. And we fought that fight too. But we have to get parents and folks to understand, talk to your young people, know what they are doing, know what's in their rooms so that they don't get addicted to these drugs that is hard for them to come off of. So we're working it as much as we can, but we need community help, and we do have community help with that. We're collaborating with different folks, and on February 28th, please come to our conference. We're going to be providing the resource book I talked about earlier. We are going to have these collaborators, the nonprofits that are here in Gwinnett County that are trying to fight the fight. We're not giving up. It's a daunting struggle, but we're fighting hard because we want young people to know they have hope in the future. They got to get rid of the gangs, drugs, and guns. This is what's killing our young people. And young people have to understand they don't need to go down that road. They have to fight for their future too.
Another thing you took a stand on was the abortion law. You know, when Roe versus Wade was like dismantled, you said, you know what, I will not prosecute the women. I will prosecute providers who provide unsafe abortions, but I will not prosecute those women. And I was so grateful to hear that, because I just, you know, many millions and millions of us totally just thought that should not have even been a conversation that we should be having at this point, but it is. So what made you decide to say, you know what, I hear what you're saying, but this is what I'm gonna do?
Well, I think certain things need to be, stay where it's supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Partners that decide to have children or not have children, and they're doctors. Those are the ones that should be making determinations, because now it's getting to a point in our country where folks that are being put at risk, mothers are being put at risk, having to go through high risk pregnancies that have issues and problems. And that is a concern. So I will look at each case on a case by case basis and not be the one to say automatically, if this happens, we're going to there, because that's never how prosecutorial decisions have ever been made. We look at all the facts in each case. Each case is different. And that's hard sometimes for people to understand too, because you got to look at the background, you got to look at exactly what happened. And when you think about like a young lady being raped and being forced to carry that child through, that's another crime.
Yeah.
So I just really feel like we have to handle these cases, as they come. We're hoping that they don't come, because there's many situations where a woman can control some of that. But if you're raped and you're violated, that's out of your control. So there was a crime committed. So those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm trying to look at things from a common sense perspective, that we all have to live in this world, and we need to make sure that folks can really thrive and not be broken down. And I know I am a DA. I'm a little different because I am, and I'll say it, I am progressive. I think that we all have to live in the world that we have, and we have to understand that certain things need to be done. It's not always punitive.
You know, I'm gonna pivot on that. I am progressive, because you have two challengers who actually worked in your office. I will not call names, but I found
Thank
it.
you.
One of those people I don't know, but one of them, one of them I do know, and I was a little shocked. Why did you think that? Well, I'm not going to ask that question. I'm going to ask a different question. I ain't gonna ask that question either.
Can I jump in for a
Go
second?
ahead, jump in, because I got questions,
I
but I'm not
think,
going to ask those. Go ahead,
yeah,
jump in.
we qualify. You have to qualify for these positions. Qualifications has not happened yet. So as far as I'm concerned, I am the only one in the race.
Okay.
Until there's qualification, and people actually, put their money where their mouths are, then I don't even consider them as opponents. So
Okay.
I look at it like that. And I think that too, what you have to look at is the history of Gwinnett County.
Mm-hmm.
I am the one that challenged a 30-year incumbent. Where were you? Where were you when that happened? And
Mm-hmm.
I turned that tide. So I am looking for the support of the people that put me here in the first place so that I can continue doing the job that I was sent here to do.
Well, Madam DA, I want to thank you so much. I think it's so
Thank you.
important for our community to understand what your office actually does and what it does not do. So
Yes.
thank you for clearing that up. And
Thank you.
public servant. Listen, I give all of you, every one of you, I give you your,
Thank you so
I give it
much.
to you because that to me that's a job that I
Mhm.
don't I don't understand how you guys do it because you do so much hard work. You need,
Yes.
you have to figure out how to balance life and you still
Yes.
got people you are fighting for, trying to kick your back in. So I say thank you. I thank you to all of you. I don't know everybody, but I know that
Yes.
if you are in one of these positions, you have given up something to sit in those seats. And I say thank you. Thank you
Thank
for this.
you
How
so much,
can
Lord.
people find out more about how to support you in your campaign?
Well, you can always reach out to the office, and we, as I indicated earlier, we are very receptive, we're very transparent, and we will find an answer for you. If we can't answer it ourselves, we'll send you to the right place that can get you answers that you need. And that is simply contacting the DA's office. And everyone here they know that that is um, my requirement. That if any member of the public reaches out to you, we're here to help direct if we cannot answer. And the other thing, you can always go to patsyforda@gmail.com. You can go to my website, Patsy for DA, Patsy, the number 4, DA, Patsy, patsyforda.com. So I really do appreciate you having me on your show today. And it's like we're walking down memory lane. So I really appreciate you, Audrey.
You're
Thank you so
very
much for what you do in keeping our community informed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I didn't think I would be still standing almost 6 years, but I'm still standing and expanding.
Yes,
So
yes,
thank you for
yes.
being
So
here and
good.
taking your time. So thank you for keeping us safe here in Gwinnett County. Everybody who listens to this show know I love Gwinnett County. Probably get tired of hearing me say it, but I do. And I'm glad that I have leadership that cares about the county just as much as I do. So thank you for just being here. And good luck on the
Thank you
election.
and have a wonderful day. Thank
Thank
you,
you, you
ma'am.
too. All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
So listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode with our DA here in Gwinnett County. She's the DA running for re-election. So if you want to find out more about her campaign, you can go to her website and find out more there. I bring on community leaders because they all give up something to be a part of our community. They all give up something to go out there and fight. And I've seen them fight. I've seen them get their backs kicked in. And I say that because I've seen it. So, if you are running for something in Gwinnett County and you want to come on the show, you want to share your point of view, by all means, reach out to me. You can go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to find out more information how to contact me. The show is Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to, check it out. If you have not subscribed to the show yet, please do. If you have an Apple phone or Android phone, you can go to your app store and subscribe to the show. Look for Good Morning Gwinnett. If you're over on YouTube, you can subscribe to the show, Good Morning Gwinnett. If you're on Instagram, Good Morning Gwinnett. Wherever you are, is Good Morning Gwinnett. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Good Morning Gwinnett. I'll be back again tomorrow's Friday. I will not be here tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. If you miss any episodes of the show, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes there. I'll be this show will be posted in a few minutes there as well, but it's everywhere. So wherever you listen to podcasts, watch videos, it'll be there. Listen, you guys have a wonderful weekend. It's supposed to be a beautiful day, 66 degrees. That's a lovely weather here in Georgia. So I'm going out. I got a meeting, so I have to run. But thank you again for tuning in. For those of you who stuck around for the entire interview, thank you so much for doing that. And listen, support who your heart tells you to support, right? Whoever that may be. They are doing work for our communities. They are, taking risks. They are, devoting time and things like that. So you vote for who your heart tells you to vote for. Whatever community leader you feel is going to lead this community the best, or your community, wherever you are in the world, because it's an election season, do that. But by all means, vote. That's what we fought for. I'll be back again Monday, 10 a.m. God willing. You guys stay safe out there. Have a beautiful weekend. And until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the show today and share it with your friends by going to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com.